Morphling.
I love this Morphling against the Terrorblade.
Yeah, Morphling against Terrorblade is one hell of a matchup. I thought we were going to be seeing this so many times in this tournament, but it kept on getting banned in the 4-5. Yep. Finally, it's let out, and Virtus.Pro snatched it up.
Not a surprise, really, to see that one in there.
Yeah. That being said, like the last pick, Pugna really sold VGJ.Thunder's draft for me.
Rounded it out.
I really was not sure about that fourth pick TK, but the Pugna really helps things a lot.
Yeah, definitely rounded that draft out. Toby.
We get to start with me.
Prediction game by starting with Cap.
I like that.
Nice tricky move there, Paul. So I actually went into this series. I thought we were going to be seeing a repeat of Katowice. I thought we were going to be seeing a 3-1 victory for Virtus.Pro. So I think it's relatively close, but I like Morphling a lot. I think he's an incredibly powerful VP.
Okay.
In the words of Pasha, it's VP. Oh, do you actually want me to justify this at all?
No,
I like the draft. I
the
like
finger guns are good enough for me, Toby.
My guns are good enough?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think anyone that can gift that now, it'll be out there in the wide world, that's fine by me. Our panel have gone full Virtus.Pro yet again. Got a feeling the crowd might be on Virtus.Pro side as well, but never back VGJ.Thunder into a corner because they'll come out fighting. Can they do so in game 2? Let's head to the commentary team and find out.
Thank you very much, Paul. We're back once again for game number 2, VP versus VGJ.Thunder. Trent, how are we feeling coming into this one?
Oh, I can't wait. The Yang Pugna. The last time we saw him do this was the Bucharest Minor. So he's feeling right at home here, back on the Pugna. See if it works out for him.
No doubt. So much pushing power on the side of VGJ.Thunder, but Virtus.Pro, they've got a pretty solid draft themselves. Trent, the Enchantress, able to scale so well. And now with that Morphling and Lion, a lot of burst damage on this team.
Certainly feels maybe a little one-dimensional on the side of VGJ. You know, you got yourself a Dragonite, a Terrorblade, a Pugna, definitely some early tower threats, some damage, but one thing that's nice when you're trying to set up those siege situations is the Spirit on the Elder Titan. Maybe they will get a little bit of a lead here, can start scouting ahead, make sure there's no one hiding those annoying trees in behind, and then just slay down those towers.
Yeah, we haven't seen a whole lot of Morphling picks this tournament, but this game feels very well suited for it. The panel was mentioning how good the Morphling can be against Terrorblade, but what are you thinking about this last pick, Morph?
Always a big fan. You know, he has some issues now, I guess, right? You can't just, you know, ignore being stunned and whatnot. You have to be a little bit quicker with some of the attribute shifts, but overall, his new ability with the ultimate, just going back and forth between the two, being able to copy some of these abilities from his opponents, especially like the meta, for example.
Yeah.
Very strong stuff.
All right, well, things starting off with an early move from Virtus.Pro. They'll pick up that Bounty Rune in enemy territory and head back. Looks like the same thing will happen for VGJ down in the bottom side. So two apiece to get things started.
We're getting there. We're getting started.
Slow and steady, bud.
Yeah, there we go. So nothing too crazy, right? You're looking towards this Elder Titan to be in a more so like stable situation, just dual laning, and oh, well, maybe there is something a little bit crazy here happening in the mid lane. Solo, he's got that right-click damage and a 1 and a 2.
There it is, baby. That's a courier down, and that's a healing salve that's going to be stuck in the well for 3 minutes.
The old courier snipe.
Not a bad start here for VP as we see these lanes settle down. Roger and Pasha going to be the dual off lane and actually putting a lot of damage onto Sylar's Dragon Knight, trying to farm in this safe lane. And of course, mid, that means it's freeze on the Terrorblade up against no one's Death Prophet. We've seen Terrorblade go mid a couple of times. Metamorphosis gives you an easy lane at the beginning, but once you go back to that regular form, it gets a bit more difficult, and I would expect this Death Prophet to start dominating.
Yeah, most of his success in the mid lane has come against physical-based heroes, like Alchemist, for example, was the big example he had for a while because he had that super high armor and he could ignore the acid spray, but DP definitely willing to just run at him with the magic there. So going to be a little bit cautious there for freeze. And when you can't ferry out regen or items, not a good way to start that situation.
Yeah, as you can see, just a couple of pooled tangos. He's already used one. That other's going to have a pretty long cooldown. Luckily for him, though, seems there won't be too many rotations. At least for now, it's a true 1v1 in that mid lane as Solo is locked down bottom. Just a nice double stun onto Fade and Yang, supporting his Morphling.
Yeah, I'd like to try and get as much pressure onto that, I think, as I could if I was VGJ.Thunder, right? Slow down Ramses. That's been the big success for a lot of teams versus VP. You think about like a Ramses CK or something like that, where he just gets heavily pressured in the lane and has a harder time farming his way back.
So what do you think about the safe lane Dragon Knight? Obviously, we see him in the mid lane most prominently. Do you think the safe lane DK is just as viable?
He's just like He offers you a certain thing. You know, he gets 6, he pushes a tower. He's there to do that for your whole team. But he can just lane in any lane, so.
Yeah, down bottom, we'll see Solo in some trouble. He's going to try to wiggle his way through the trees, but maybe tough to find a proper retreat path. Does sort of fake him out, but Nether Blast connects, and Yang will find the kill. First blood drawn for VGJ.Thunder.
Yeah, as we saw in the mid, though, Freeze did also almost go down. He's had to run his whole way back home. Now all the way up in the top lane, though. That nice tanky Dragon Knight. He's not level 3 yet, so only still 1 point in the Dragon Blood.
Yep, again trying to move his way through the trees, but Roger's right there with a Riptide. A lot of damage on that level 1 spell. Follow up and snare onto DDC. The Disruptor trying to make it back to the tower, but Naga happy to dive this and tank it. It's a double kill for Roger, and they'll get away with it scot-free. Now back down bottom. Yang, could he be in some trouble? Ramses ready to follow up with some right clicks after the Earth Spike, but not enough damage for a kill.
And the most successful Enchantress players that we've seen, it's often coming from the hero that they're paired with in the lane. For a long time, that would just be like a Slardar, someone who can just play super aggressive. And Naga's a great person to have in that, right? You have that net for a long-range stun, and then just insanely beefy. How are you ever going to go on this hero? She already has a stout shield. She's a support. She has boots, nice and fast already too, and a salve to boot there now with a wand too. So. Easy game up top for them, even when it's someone so tanky and annoying as a Dragon Knight.
Yeah, absolutely. And even though Enchantress has a lot of presence in the lane, she does take a little bit of time to come online. She scales very well, but an offlaner that tends to be a little more reliant on farm rather than purely on experience, as we've seen, maybe like the Brewmasters or the Clockworks that really just want to grab level 6 as quickly as possible. But 2-1, lane starting to settle down just a little bit, as we would expect. The mid lane shifting in favor of no one on the Death Prophet. Rotation from Roger could be inbound, but Freeze with pretty defensive positioning in the lane might be a hard gank to connect with. Metamorphosis down for another 100 seconds, but there's the ensnare. No one charging forward. Spirit Siphon, follow up. That forces the TP out of the Disruptor, but it will get canceled. Still a victory for Virtus.Pro.
And down bottom, most of that pressure has been relieved. I mean, Fade's back down here now, but overall, Ramses is relatively okay here, right? 13-7. And as long as he's not forced a waveform, he's going to be fine. But DDC is waiting to see if he will use that waveform aggressively, perhaps give him a chance to catch. But Solo is the easier target.
Yeah, Stomp will start things off. The follow-up Thunder Strike and the burst damage from Yang. Few more auto attacks to find the kill. It's going to be a close one, but the Lion survives. He pops the salve, but no, it's Fade on the Elder Titan with a stray Astral Spirit to secure the kill. Nicely done by VGJ.Thunder. A close one.
Yeah, tried to get a little bit cheeky there, I would say, with the salve. That's really going to cost him. But still has his TP at the very least, so he wants to go top and create a kill threat here onto Sylar. Not as easy once he has a couple points in that Dragon's Blood, just the 2 of them to bring him down. So with the help of Solo here.
Well, and remember, Riptide has some minus armor attached to it, so Sylar actually taking a lot of damage. Hex from the Lion as they dive this tower. Pasha healing them up, and it's another for VP. And now a killing spree secured for Rogers Naga Siren.
Yeah, and now can anyone even come back up here, right? Like, you can keep throwing this DK here if you want, but honestly, he's likely just going to get picked off over and over, but you don't have much of a choice, so they're probably going to bring, like, the ET up here or something to pair with them.
It's a good read from Virtus.Pro, knowing that the Dragon Knight really needs some space early on, right? This is a momentum-based hero. He wants to come online early, and by putting him in the safe lane, in theory, you're guaranteeing him safe farm. That's in the very name of the safe lane, but here it's not working out as they've had this Naga to continually dive him. He is still finding
gone bottom.
Pretty decent farm, but we'll see if he can recover. And yeah, in the
2
bottom
points
lane,
in the net.
Naga Siren with that 3-second disable. Now the waveform in, the TP home will keep the Elder Titan alive.
Yeah, lacking a little bit of damage there on the Riptide, not quite enough. So her pressure going down bottom means that now there is that space for Sylar that you're a little bit worried about, so he should be okay getting level 6. And Naga bot, that means Lion heads to the mid. Probably trying to create some sort of a threat here using the Exorcism if anyone wants to show themselves. But if there's one thing we know about Terrorblade, he's happy with heading to the jungle.
Oh, look at this, though. The perfect rune for Terrorblade at 6 minutes. It's an arcane rune, so that's going to make Metamorphosis a short 108-second cooldown.
Yeah, try and get some Ancients done.
So this is pretty good. I mean, it opens up some efficiency for VGJ.Thunder. DDC will now get closer to level 6 on the Disruptor. Sometimes experience is what this hero struggles with in the laning phase. And like you said, Terrorblade can jungle pretty quickly, but also not immune to rotations.
That
and
could be a problem for no one here. I mean, with the meta and everything, if there was one more hero, but
yeah,
Freeze just too committed to the creeps right now.
Lane's definitely going in favor of Virtus.Pro. You look at that net worth breakdown, DP #1, actually all 3 cores on the top of the chart. And on top of that, I think Death Prophet is the highest level in the game by a good bit. Level 7 and only a level 5 Terrorblade. Huge disparity there.
Yeah, bottom with the wave pushing in, though. They're starting to get that tower pressure on because they do have the Pugna. Won't connect with the blast, though.
Yeah, definitely will expect Virtus.Pro to lose these tier 1s pretty early with all that pushing. I think some of it will come once DK starts moving around with that ultimate, but down in the bottom lane, Pugna's the one initiated on. Nice stomp from Fade, and now some return damage from the Nether Blast, but Ramses and Roger perhaps hungry for more. Fade will just disengage. So
yeah,
damage
they got a shrine
exchange,
here
but
anyway,
no kill.
so
yeah.
I'll just back away to that. It'll be A-OK. Solo way up top. He's just wandering in behind that tower.
It looks like him and Pasha went for a dive, and Pasha now going to get clipped by a stray Thunder Strike. This might be a freebie for DDC. It's going to be close, and it will find the kill before he can make it to the shrine. They get punished this time for trying to pressure the Dragon Knight.
All right, he's back. This is yesterday, right? The assassin. He's
Yep.
in there. Finds one.
#1 DDC Disruptor fan right here, pal.
Yeah, you got him. All right, Roger steals that boundary rune down bottom. Will he pay for it with his life is the question, though.
It's going to be close. He's got a lot of stick charges, so might have the opportunity to heal.
He is juking and jive.
Dodges the stomp, and now Ramses come in. They could turn this the other way. Yang caught by the ensnare, right clicks from Ramses, but still not really hitting too hard. But the wave form onto Fade. He uses his stick, not enough to survive, and VP get another one up on the scoreboard.
Roger, see if he breaks out those dance moves tonight there, if they can clean up this grand final. Looking for an after party. You know, these guys, they've been celebrating a lot lately. Looking
Fancy
to add one
footwork.
more.
Double damage on Freeze. The runes have really helped this Terrorblade recover. Still pretty far behind the Death Prophet, but rotating into lane, popping another Metamorphosis now from that last Arcane rune, and able to work on some Dire Ancients. So definitely not a win in the mid lane, but it's not too bad for VGJ.Thunder. They will have that opportunity to group up pretty soon, as it looks like they are starting to rotate onto Ramses with the smoke.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they haven't lost any damage on mid whatsoever from this DP, who's essentially just been living here, is definitely a good sign for them if they can get Ramses, which they do with ease. I mean, they got the blow up, that is for sure.
Yep.
And this is before we even have natural order coming into the equation.
Yeah, 3 points with that Breathe Fire on top of a Decrep. It's pretty burst heavy. And Morphling, as we've mentioned a couple of times, he needs a little bit of farm to get to that point where he feels nice and beefy and able to deal with that. Bottom lane, this tower will fall. The Glyph comes out.
No one's level 9, though. I mean, this doesn't feel that great. It feels like this tower was going to go down anyway, and then you have to pop the DK ulti for it, though. You know, it was already so weak, so true. I don't know if they're necessarily, super happy with this.
Well, now Fade possibly in some trouble. He gets off the Echo Stomp, but does very little as no one actually commits the Exorcism.
In the mid lane, Solo also in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, no one's going to rotate in. He wants DDC. Big damage there. It ends up being a double for no one's Death Prophet. Very smart rotation. He does get glimpsed back to the bottom lane, but he finds a kill. And all the while, Pasha was just farming up top and actually finishes off that tier 1 tower. So it's a tier 1 trade.
And Pasha, he's going for the Maelstrom. Bit of a unique choice here for our Enchantress gamers, but
yeah,
cutting through that heavy armor of the DK and the Terrorblade.
Okay. Very creative, but I like it. I think it makes a lot of sense here.
It's a bit unusual. I mean, I guess he just doesn't see any value in the Hurricane Pike early on, which could cost him, if he gets caught by DDC or something, or even just like a Pugna, not being able to create that gap. Definitely call this a little bit greedy, I would say.
Yeah, when I first saw the Gloves of Haste, I was thinking maybe this would be a Midas game for the Enchantress. But when you look at that pushing lineup of VGJ.Thunder, feels very risky. You need those items that let you come online nice and early so you can delay this mid-game push.
So they want to smoke up here. Solo TPs to the tier 2. And they will indeed. And Ern also finished up here for Roger. We'll see if he goes straight for the hammer after that.
Yeah, Finger available for Solo, level 6 on Lion. Always a turning point. And looking to find a nice early kill with this reveal. Terrorblade would be the ideal target if they can bump into him. He's farming in the jungle, but it seems they'll rotate to the top lane instead and perhaps focus on Yang.
Yeah, I think Yang would be good. Just depends on terms of their vision there. Looks like they're going to wrap past Fade. They know their target.
Well, gets scouted out by the Elder Titan. Stomp connects on just the Lion, but still able to get off the Hex. Pasha throwing in the Impetus, and there's the Finger to finish him off. Static Storm, Kinetic Field from DDC.
Oh, uses the glimpse of the Morph.
Oh my, the Morphling able to pull it back, and DDC in huge trouble. The right clicks will finish him off, and it ends up being 2 more for Virtus.Pro.
Those are the plays we wanted with this hero in the change.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice. Look at all those emotes. They know. They're all pleased with them right now.
Yeah, Morphling might have one of the highest skill ceilings right now of any hero that you can play in Captain's Mode. So much potential to make those big plays with the recent changes to Morph. And a huge start for Virtus.Pro. We're only 12 minutes into this game, Trent, and it's nearly a 4K net worth lead as we see Roger try to battle for that bottom bounty rune. Falls a little short.
Yeah, and that's all 3 cores on top of the net worth as well.
Still, it's pretty much been the state of this game since it started. But still some hope for VGJ.Thunder. They definitely need to start working on this 5-man. I think they've got a lot of these key ultimates now, and I'd like to see them group up and start knocking down some towers, maybe fighting alongside this terrible.
Sleep setup onto Freeze in the bottom lane here.
All right, Song of the Siren from Roger, turns it back the other way, follow-up stun from Roger, and oh look, it's no one with another Exorcism. So Terrorblade in some hurt, they're gonna hex him down, no chance for a Sunder, perfectly executed gank by Virtus.Pro.
Yeah.
Top
And
lane,
top.
Ramses, his TP actually interrupted. He's gonna try to make the retreat, waveform is up, but he's disarmed, waveform the other way, will stop the Pugna blast, but DK will finish him off. Meanwhile, down bottom now. Fade being dove in the tree line. No one still with the Exorcism on. Easy damage, easy kill, and around the map, it is an advantage for VP. However, they do lose their Morphling.
That's a little unfortunate there. It looks so good, right? And then you just lose. You know, you get this Morphling, you're like, okay, we're getting back into it, and then you just drop one more hero. And
again, Trent, look, it's like Pasha is just playing this, hey guys, you made some space for me, I'm going to split push and farm. He's doing a lot of damage to this tier 1 tower mid. He's finished up his Maelstrom, and now that full Hurricane Pike is going to get queued up.
I mean, Disruptor's his only threat, so if he sees DDC anywhere on the map, like when he's killing his Morphling up top, he just, okay, I will just sit mid. There's not really anything you guys can do up against me, so fine life for him. And I love the way they're playing this Lion early too. Like mid-game, not as good, but this, like there's so much time that he just locks him down and creates no opportunity for the Sunder to come out.
Oh my, Freeze. This could be back-to-back deaths. Another Hex, but this time the Sunder's there. He gets it off onto Pasha. It's a full reset. They've killed Roger, and the glimpse into Pasha, it's going to be a turn the other way. Or is it? Reinforcements have arrived. DDC gets brought down as Solo and no one join the party. Not over yet, though. Enchantress finished off by Pugna. This Yang is pretty farmed. VP might need to retreat now that they're running low on resources. Elder Titan also coming into the fray, gets a stomp onto Solo, sets it up for Freeze. So a sign of life for VGJ.Thunder, eating into that lead and regaining some momentum for themselves as DK now picks up the Shadow Blade.
Yeah, that's 3 heroes down. That's a 1,500 gold swing. We're finally getting some breakup in the top net worth, and all of a sudden there's 2 dire heroes there. Pugna jostling around with the Morphling, and Sylar right in 2nd place on that DK, but well ahead of them is no one. They just need to find a way to actually make use of it, as he came up just a little bit late in that one.
Yeah, VP just getting a little bit too cocky there, thinking they had the damage to finish off the Terrorblade, but those low HP Sunders, Trent, have to be so satisfying.
Could think about a Shadow Blade turn here.
Yep, they're going to go right in onto the Enchantress, and that is the reveal of the Shadow Blade. Exactly how you want to do it. Solo drops the finger, might be able to bring down the TB, and they do. It's 1-for-1 as Roger jumps in and snare onto the DK. Solo getting very low, but the infused raindrops actually keep him alive as he moves into fog. No one now pressing forward. Yang on the run, gets the kill, but pays with his own life. It's a 2-for-2. Looked maybe disastrous for VP, but they managed to turn it around and at least get a break even.
Half duration still left on the Exorcism as well here. No one wants to get at least a little bit of chip damage here with his wave coming through. And he is backed up by Roger with the Song, who's also probably looking for a deep ward. Very nice spot.
Sylar again in the front lines with the Shadow Blade on, but no one moves out of the lane just in time and will not get caught.
They want to create a kill threat up here on top. Very difficult target though.
Yeah, they do have Song of the Siren in case things go awry, by putting a lot of stock into that level 2 silence from no one for the lockdown. Not going to find the opening as Freeze just goes right back to farming. And speaking of Freeze, looking at his net worth, he is the lowest of the cores right now at only 5.3K. He's got his Treads, Aquila, as well as Drum of Endurance. Pretty good value items with easy build-up, but pretty underwhelming. Mid lane, Pasha initiated on by Sylar as he just walks up with the Shadow Blade Dragon Tail. Of course, they've got plenty of burst damage with that decrep on the Pugna.
Yeah, there's certainly one thing Enchantress hates, and that was it.
Yep.
Right? Constant explosions from Pugna and all his friends.
I wonder if this is a game where the Enchantress might just want to consider a Hood of Defiance so she can survive that burst rotation.
Yeah, very common pickup these days on the hero as well, for that very reason.
Solo in some trouble, drops the Hex stun, TP out, it's going to be close, and he makes it.
Nice.
Great heads-up play. Now back to the mid lane, no one in a lot of trouble. The Earth Splitter will connect. He's low on HP, but Song of the Siren from Roger does break things up. Ramses looking for an opportunity to find a kill. Silence on 2. No one is not afraid at all. The waveform across. They'll get the Pugna, and now Fade in a lot of trouble. Echo Stomp. Yule Scepter interrupts it, and now they should have the damage with a Crypt Swarm. It's a 2-fer in the mid lane. VP again coming out in the lead.
I wasn't worried for a moment, you know, backed up from his team there. No one able to make a quick turnaround there. 1,500 damage from both him and the Morphling / Dragon Knight, as Ramses was doing his little cosplay there.
Yeah. So VGJ.Thunder, again, Trent, hanging into this game. They're doing a really good job finding rotations and picking off cores and really trying to focus on that Enchantress that they gave a lot of space to in the early game. But seems Virtus.Pro is still just half a step ahead in most of these engagements, where even when they take one step back, they're always finding something else around the map.
Yeah, well, one thing that's really irritating about this position for Naga 2 is that Roger has just been sending illusions off to these side lanes as he builds up into his Spirit Vessel. So he's just willing to, you know, keep these lanes pushed out there, create some sort of pressure. Someone has a response from VGJ.Thunder. Usually that's going to wind up being Freeze, and so they have a strong four-man with the DK, the Disruptor, the Elder Titan, and the Pugna, but oftentimes they're still fighting into 5. And once the bots are done for Ramses, that situation is just going to get worse.
Yeah, a couple of big items have now been secured by VP. We saw that Yule Scepter on the Death Prophet in the last fight, but also a Hooded Defiance, absolutely core against Pugna, and you've got that Lincoln Sphere on Morphling. So he's starting to feel a little bit more survivable, and as you were talking about the BOTs, only 200 gold away from having that movement speed and global presence as that Tier 1 tower in the bottom lane gets pressured by Ramsey and Solo.
Yeah, I'm expecting VGJ.Thunder to try and take up position around the Roche Pit at this point, just try and deny that area away from Virtus.Pro. Yeah, pretty easy grab for them with the next Exorcism if that's what they wanted. And she can just help tank it with a creep or herself because of the passive.
Yeah, both teams actually have pretty good Roche control. Virtus.Pro with the Song of the Siren, all of the AoE from the Lion, the Morphling, and the Death Prophet, really. But VGJ.Thunder, they've got plenty of tools. TB, definitely one of the better heroes in terms of bursting down Roshan, assuming you have Metamorphosis available.
I think ideally they find some sort of engagement that forces the Song out of VP, and then they try and just like fight around the pit. Or it's like they can't even take it that fast themselves is the real problem, though. You know, they don't really have a very good hero for it, so it almost feels like inevitably it's going to fall over to the side of Virtus.Pro, and then they are going to be very hard to deal with. As no one even recognizing the situation and going straight for that BKB. So that's our Spirit Vessel done. It looks like.
On the Naga, yep, and now VP will smoke up with 4.
Okay, so they don't have the best vision around the pit right now. It's okay, right? They got eyes on Pasha. If they see him rotate over, maybe they can get there. But this is that big fight that they need for VGJ.Thunder. They have the Elder Titan. They have the Disruptor. This is that point in the game where you're asking, like, how are they going to get back into it? It had to be this moment, and they're not going to be here in time.
Yeah, this is
great forward vision from VP.
Very smart, though, from Virtus.Pro. Using the Exorcism like this, they know they can kill Roche relatively quickly. They show with Pasha in the lane, so it doesn't feel like that all-in to trigger the red flags.
Up ahead.
Now, hold up. Solo, he charges into DDC. He does have a finger available. Need to be careful of that Pugna ward, but it looks like he will be able to walk away. No, the Yule Scepter from no one is there in time. He'll use the Exorcism, and now a glimpse back. This Disruptor is on the run.
Yeah, Ramses
might actually survive.
Not going to have another stun in his little Disruptor form, so he will escape.
Yeah, Roger couldn't quite get the vision for the interrupt there, as no one's Exorcism does now dissipate. They move into the Tier 2 up top. He's happy to just tank it up. They've got that Dark Troll Summoner with some extra little skellies for damage. This will end up being a pretty quick tower push. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, VGJ.Thunder positioning like they want to go
Roger.
Tier 2 for Tier 2. Roger with the Song of the Siren. He's going to set it up for the TPs coming to the Shrine. Ramses is already here, and it looks like DK will be the target of choice. They pop a dust, but on the backside, Solo almost going down to the Pugna. He does end up getting finished off by Freeze, but they trade for Sylar, and now the real fight breaks out. Static Storm, Kinetic Field, connects on 3 very low health heroes, but they're all still alive. No one able to dodge the Nether Blast as Yang's on the run, and he may have committed too deep here. Does not have any kind of mobility tool except the brown boots. And there it is as Ramses will finish him off with a Stray Adaptive Strike.
Oh, I think they just knew they had to take some sort of fight. Maybe thought the full reinforcements wouldn't be there from VP, but they just came one by one through that shrine, and another good fight for them. Now up to a 6K lead.
Yeah, a heartbreaking fight for VGJ.Thunder. It was such a good setup for DDC. 3 heroes, Silence taking all of that damage, but there was just no follow-up.
I mean, he's level 9, you know. He's not getting into level 12 quite yet. No extra damage coming out. And the Pugna wasn't like throwing in all the blasts the entire time or anything. It was close. One more Pugna blast might have hit it, but unlucky.
Now BKB coming on the way for the Death Prophet. No one just waiting for the recipe. More and more core items for Virtus.Pro. Ramses also with the Ghost Scepter. No doubt that'll turn into an E-Blade, but also giving him a little bit more survivability as he works on the build-up. Dire side, not too many more core items have come out. BKB on Sylar finally completed, so of course that's big. But outside of that, we got nothing. Manta on the way for freeze, but still far off.
Yeah, they couldn't get the glimpse down bottom onto no one. He's still just sneaking away here.
So what's the play for VGJ.Thunder right now? Roshan, not an option. They've taken the easy Tier 1 towers. Obviously, this team is very based around taking objectives and pushing. How do you make that happen? Like, they couldn't even trade Tier 2 towers in the last fight.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it's going to be levels on Disruptor and Elder Titan are going to be one of the most helpful things. Try and win a big fight with a huge Earth Splitter. If you can get the Aghanim Scepter on Yang, he can obviously put out more damage, but maybe even create those moments where he saves freeze, gives him a chance at a Sunder. Those kind of turnaround plays. That's kind of stuff they have to look for. But overall, of course, VP just looking much better set here as Ramses is a Terrorblade up top, sending out reflections into the jungle.
Oh, good.
Yeah, oh, good, perfect. Just what we were looking for.
Exactly what VGJ.Thunder were hoping to deal with 23 minutes into this game. Maybe this Dragon Knight BKB could be a game changer. They are going to bump into the Morphling. Yeah, the enemy Terrorblade here, kind of stalking him out, but sees that Lincoln Sphere, also sees the Aegis, and makes the call not to initiate as his team just goes right back to farming.
So that means we have a minute and a half left on the Aegis here for Virtus.Pro, and we have a BKB complete for no one on that Death Prophet. Means you definitely want something out of this Aegis. Try and get a tower down here.
Yeah. Also worth noting, Lion's ultimate now level 2, so additional burst damage to try to deal with the Terrorblade. He has finished up the Manta style, going Scotty next, so definitely looking for a stats-heavy build to be able to survive that burst damage, but Solo is maintaining tempo, and I think still a step ahead of this Terrorblade in some regards. Also a big item pickup now on the Pugna. That's an Aghanim Scepter, so life drain goes to that very short instant cooldown, and is it going to be enough, though, Trent? It's a big item on this hero, but is it actually a game changer? Amazing against the Lincolns of Morphling, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's true. It is a good way to try and pop that. I don't know. I mean, it all just comes down to Yang, right? It gives him a chance to make plays, but he still has to find them. And I love the way Roger's been playing. He has been staying completely out of vision for so long now. Like, it's so hard for him to try and initiate on this song, and that means they always have this failsafe, and they can't initiate as VGJ.Thunder without that.
VP feeling their confidence right now, pressuring this Tier 2, and all of VGJ.Thunder just turtled up just outside of their base, really not able to initiate this. The age is soon to expire, but while that Morphling has a second life, they will continue to be defensive, and that Tower Gold will actually unlock the Blink Dagger for Solo's Lion. So now they've got even longer reach of initiation.
Yeah, certainly would not be good fighting into that, right? So the wise call to wait out that Aegis. I mean, we heard yesterday that Sylar was joking about he popped that BKB yesterday so they wouldn't fight into the Aegis and the Cheese and Noob. You know, that was the genius play. He's like, you guys are welcome. I saved us. So this time it didn't cost him his BKB. Still going to be waiting there with the 10 seconds.
Terrorblade actually switching up his build, opting not to commit for the Scotty, but instead going for the Dragon Lance. And oh my, there was a Terrorblade there, but he gets destroyed in the mid lane.
The plays weren't made.
Oh gosh, that is brutal. Now the Song of the Siren set up onto 3. Will the follow-up be there? Silence connects on at least 2. Dragon Knight going to be the first to fall. And now the follow-up from Virtus.Pro. Again, the stomp interrupted by the Yule's Scepter. And Fade will get chased down, stunned up by the adaptive, and sets up a triple for Ramses. Solo is hungry for more. Blink Dagger on cooldown, and DDC will make it back to the Tier 3. But I think a high ground siege may be imminent.
It's happening.
It's happening right now, Trent. That word.
On the high ground. I mean, yes, you don't have much left on the Exorcism, but there is plenty of damage from this Morphling.
The glyph comes out straight away, and VP will not delay trying to secure a lane of Barracks. 2 heroes down without buyback. DK does have his, but without Elder Dragon form, doesn't really feel like a great use of his income. They are going to let the Tier 3 fall, and now the exposed Barracks will be turned to Rumble. Melee first and ranged second. Virtus.Pro will now sound the retreat. You can hear the horn from the crowd as they head back to their side of the map.
Oh, it's, I don't know, I was hoping for a little bit of a closer game too. I don't know about you, but so far, today is all VP.
Yeah, pretty much everything in this game going their way.
Look what DDC's trying to do down. He's like, I need some levels, man. Just give me level 12. I just want to sit in the trees for a bit. But he's been scanned up.
Oh my. Well, it's definitely true when you're up against the wall like this, you have to take some sort of risk to get back in it. So I like the thought process, and he is able to survive. Pulls a few heroes from VP down to the bottom, but almost an effortless set of Barracks, it feels like.
Well, they do have a chance to defend high ground if their heroes are alive. Yeah, Elder Titan, Disruptor, pretty scary, right? Some wombo combo action happening, but Virtus.Pro waiting out those situations. Going to ensure that won't happen. I mean, we still have the 10-second BKB on this Dragon Knight.
I mean, I'm sort of shocked that Freeze went for the Dragonlance over a BKB against a Lion who's got a level 2 ultimate, also the E-Blade on Morphling. Magic Immunity feels like the item to me in this game.
He's got to play greedy, though. You know,
and he's got to survive to realize the greed. I mean, you saw that last fight, literally a blink of an eye, and he was dead.
I mean, if Ramses just becomes Pugna, Pugna's pretty good against TV, so
that's
instant decrep.
Definitely true. Also, another big item completed for VP, it's the Meteor Hammer on Rogers Naga.
Far more important than Ramses' BKB, I would say. Yes, it's all about the Meteor Hammer. Do they have any way of countering that? As you said, the BKB isn't there, so Freeze going to have a rough time. Might have to go for some big Manta plays.
I mean, on that same note, DK has had a 10-second BKB
Dude,
in the last
ready.
fight. He wasn't able to use it.
He's ready for the Meteor Hammer.
Yeah.
He's the only one, but he's ready.
That's true. BKB only good if you can use it before the burst damage comes. Even Lion working on a BKB now. He's got the Ogre Club and waiting for the other pieces.
It's like the old Crystal Maiden strats, you know?
Yeah.
So one item BKB. Strong support hero.
Yep.
One more tower to go on the outskirts here, and DDC bravely defending it. And by defending, I mean soaking up as much experience as he can.
Very close to that level 2 ultimate, so a worthy time to try to leech some XP. Right now, Virtus.Pro have that luxury of playing the 4+1. Ramses with his BOTs is happy to just farm the jungle, push the side lanes.
Okay, we're popping DK ulti. We're going in.
Join his team once the fight breaks out. Sylar, yeah, Shadowblade in the front lanes could go in onto no one. There's the follow-up, the decrep, the burst damage. Can they actually kill this Death Prophet? No, the BKB from no one. They're going to turn the other way. Song of the Siren does reset. Now a decrep onto Lion, but no one is going in deep. No holds barred. He has no fears as they find 2. The DK falls 3rd, and now this tier 2 tower is the next target. That was basically the dream initiation, and still no one doesn't fall. They're not done.
The base, the hammer.
They've got Yang. It's a triple kill. There's only one defender. It's the raid boss. It's a Terrorblade, and he's dead. Silence will lock him down, and we could be moments from a GG. There's it. VP takes game 2 in stunning fashion.
That was a bold push from Virtus.Pro. Look what they were